I'm 25. I just turned 25 in the beginning of the year, and I'm still living with my parents. I don't have my own car. I feel like I'm stuck in a dead end job, and I just don't feel like I'm where I should be in life at this point in time. I know I can't be the only one who feels like everyone else is ahead, way ahead in life, who feels like we're just figuring out things. Today I want to talk about being in my mid-20s, being 25 years old to be exact, being an introvert, and being a late bloomer. So if you relate to any of this, this video is for you, this video is for me, this video is for us. Being a late bloomer. So all my life I can remember just always walking to the beat of my own drum and just doing my own thing. Like, I really never cared about what the people had going on. And this is from the time I became conscious, the time I became a conscious being. I've never been the type of person to be envious of what other people have or jealous of what other people are doing or anything like that. It's just how I've always been, basically. So I've always walked to the beat of my own drum. And I feel like that's kind of a part of being a late bloomer. Like, if you're a late bloomer, if you're someone who's always doing things on your own time, like you're not gonna rush into things just because other people say you should or other people are doing it, or you feel like you should because you're reaching a certain milestone or age or whatever. If you are one of those people who's always like done things on their own time, that's, in my opinion, what being a late bloomer is, basically. Or you just do things on your own timing. Like, with me having that personality type and being that type of person, the late bloomer type, I've always been out of sync with my peers, with people in my age group, basically. I've always been out of sync when it comes to my career, with my life in general, relationships and all that. But the thing about it is, I've never felt insecure about that. I've never felt put out or like insecure about that fact about myself until social media. Me and my brother in a little dilemma because I feel like I should have bleached them blonde. Like, it's just a feeling. Like, I already don't have much brows to begin with, but it's like I can't. It's like no matter what I do to my brows, I don't feel like they match with my hair. So I'm using the Elf Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe, and I'm hoping for the best. And I'm hoping for the freaking best. You know the saying, comparison is the thief of joy. It's 100% true. It's 100% true. Because I can remember turning 16. And you know, in the age of 16, everyone it's like it's time to get your license. It's time to get your license. It's time to start driving, whatever. At the time, I did not feel ready. I did not feel ready to start that part of my life. Like, I did not feel ready to start driving. As soon as I turned 16, I didn't feel prepared. First of all, I did not feel prepared mentally to start. That I was dealing with a lot of anxiety at that time in my life, and it's like that was the last thing on my mind, basically. I can remember being completely fine with not having my license at 16. Like, I had people who were willing to take me anywhere I wanted to go, so it was like not really a big deal. But I remember a couple of years later, still didn't have my license, and I think I was prepping for it at that time. And I remember seeing photos online, basically, of like girls just turning 16, getting a new Benz, getting a new Rolls Royce and all that, and I was just like, what the heck? Like, why did I wait so long? Why did I wait so long to freaking get my license? Why did I wait so long to attempt to get my license? When in reality, like, even if I did get my license at that age, I would not have a brand new Benz or a brand new Audi or whatever. No, I don't think I would have even had a car then. In my head, me being a late bloomer kept me from being one of those girls who posted a pic with their new Benz online, like, when it's not the real. It was not my reality at the time. Like, social media is a big reason why we all, it may not be the sole reason, but it's a big reason why we all feel behind in life. I'm pretty sure before social media, no one cared what you had going on in life. Like, no one cared if you had a brand new car by 16. Like no one cared if you moved out of your parents' house by 18, had a brand new rental by freaking 19 and moved into your own home at 25, whatever. Like, no one really cared about these things before social media. And I feel like because of social media and all the comparisons and all that, it like brings out this weird envy for different things, like for people who are going through different things in their life. Like, all of us don't live the same life, all of us don't walk the same path. Now I want to talk about some personal things, like what I'm personally going through in my life, what has been making me feel like I'm behind and like whatever. So yeah, I'm 25. I just turned 25 in the beginning of the year, and I'm still living with my parents. I don't have my own car. I'm stuck in a dead end job, and I just don't feel like I'm where I should be in life at this point in time. I always had like this OCD type fantasy, like how my life was gonna go basically. In my head, as a young 15-year-old, I believe that by 18 I would have my car, my license, apartment, the hoopla that they show you online or whatever that you're supposed to have in that time frame. Like, I truly believe like that's how my life gonna go. Like, by the time I reach 18, I'm gonna move out my parents' house. I'm gonna have a car, my dream car. I'm gonna be doing super good on social media because I've always wanted to do social media basically. Since I wanted to do social media since I was 13, 14, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that in my head, that's how life was gonna go. Like, I was gonna blow up on social media probably by 17, maybe. Have my own, then move out of my parents' house. Then move out of my parents' house, have my own apartment, my little girly girl apartment, my dream car. And at the time, my dream car was an Audi. I wanted an Audi so freaking bad at that time. So I reached 18 and I'm not mentally prepared and I'm not financially prepared to move out of my parents' house at all. And it's not like I was like super childish where it's like, oh, yeah, she's not gonna be able to move out. I feel like in that capacity, I was prepared to move out. Like, I could have went on my own little journey and moved out, but I just wasn't mentally ready to live alone, basically. I wasn't mentally ready to live on my own. And I wasn't, more importantly, financially ready at all. I was making money, doing like babysitting and all that, but I wasn't making enough to have my own apartment at that time. I did not have like a official job, like a job, like a 9 to 5 where I go to and all that. I made my money babysitting. That was the bulk of my money, and like doing odd jobs or whatever. And I did not blow up on social media at that time. So it was like a no. It was like, no, that's clearly not gonna happen at this time. But I was perfectly fine with it. I was like, maybe it's gonna happen. Maybe I need a couple more years to load up, but it's gonna happen. I get to 19 and I'm still not mentally or financially prepared. But even worse, that's when the pandemic happens, basically. So I feel like when the pandemic started, I already knew that my plans of finally being prepared to move out on my own, go on my own little journey, were going to be put on hiatus, basically. Like, I already knew before it even became a big, huge thing. And this was in the beginning, in 2019. Get to age 20, still not prepared. Not only are we in the crux of the freaking pandemic, but I'm not financially, not mentally prepared. 21, still not. 22, still not. 23, still. I feel like when I hit 24, the pandemic has subsided or whatever, I'm finally mentally prepared to go on my own, do my own thing. I'm finally semi-financially prepared to go on my own, do my own thing. And the economy is terrible. And if you're a young adult in this day and age, you know to rent a house costs an arm and a leg. To rent a house costs an arm and a leg. To buy your first car costs an arm and a leg. Like, everything is super expensive. The plan that my little 15-year-old brain concocted has not come into fruition. Not only that, I don't think it's going to come into fruition anytime soon. Even then, even being 24, going on 25, I still did not have the feeling of chasing something. Like, I didn't feel like I was chasing anything in life. Like, I didn't feel like, I wouldn't say that I didn't feel behind life. I think I did feel behind the life, but I did not feel super insecure about being behind the life, basically. I think I was very secure in myself, very secure with myself Because like I said, I always walked to the beat of my own drum. I've always done things with my own timing. So in my head, I knew that things were going to get moving eventually. Like even if it's not now, even if it's not today, things were going to get moving for me in life. Like there's a plan for me in life, and eventually I'll be on that freaking track, on that road basically. But when you're trying to do social media, when you're trying to be a social media content creator or whatever you want to call it, you have to be on social media a lot. You have to be on social media a lot. You have to be on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, Twitter. All the things basically. And I feel like me trying to strive in this field of being a social media creator or whatever basically amplified my insecurities with being a late bloomer, with being behind in life, whatever. Like imagine getting online, getting on Instagram, and I freaking hate getting on Instagram now because of this fact. Because of this basically. I hate getting on Instagram. But imagine getting on Instagram and all you see is girls your age or even younger than you just living their dream lives. Like they're vacationing, they're freaking driving their dream cars, getting their dream cars. Like I just saw, I feel like this was a week ago, a girl that I follow on Instagram. She's about my age. She's about 24, maybe a little younger. And she got her dream car. She got a Bentley. And I'm like, whoa, like the way that hit me. And it shouldn't have hit me so hard because that's not my life. This girl's life. I'm not living this life. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes in her life for her to get this or whatever. She could have worked really hard for that or whatever, but it just hit me so hard. I'm like, wow. I guess really girls out here who are around my age or younger who are just living the life. They're living a life that I'm not living basically. Oh, and excuse my hair, I'm doing pin curls. By the way, don't play with me. Don't play. So yeah, I'm like, wow. Like there's really girls out here who are living the freaking girly girl dream. And look at me, still living with my parents. Like, oh my god. Don't have a car yet. So basically, I saw that it hit me hard, and I feel like that at that point is when I knew that I need to take a break. I need to take a break from social media basically, because there should be no reason why something super amazing happening in someone else's life should hurt me so bad. It's normal to feel some type of way about seeing someone your age or even a little younger or whatever getting something that you wish you could achieve, or achieve something you wish you could achieve. It's normal to feel jealous about their envious about that, but to project your feelings on that person or anything. Like if I would have went and commented under that girl's videos, girl's post like, how'd you get that? You must do this and that. I see so many comments like that where a young girl will achieve something like move to her dream apartment or get her dream car or whatever, and you'll look at the comments and there'll be people accusing her of like doing certain work, certain type of unwholesome type of work to achieve that. I think I want to set this. Everything is pretty much blended out. So yeah, I want to give some tips to my fellow late bloomers, my fellow introverts. Just some tips and tricks that I personally use to cope. I don't want to say cope, because I feel like cope is a bad word. To basically adapt with feeling behind in life. So number one advice, stop comparing your chapter 5 to someone else's chapter 25. Basically. Like we all have different journeys, we all have different paths that we walk and all of that. And I don't feel like it's beneficial mentally, especially to be always comparing yourself to someone else, like especially when we're all on different journeys, we're all on different chapters of a book. And I feel like social media compresses time so much, and it distorts progress, and it shows you everyone's highs and not many people's lows. So you see someone online who just bought their dream car, moved into their dream apartment with the floor to ceiling windows or whatever. You never know what it took for them to get to that point in life. You never know what they went through. Like they could have been homeless, struggling or whatever, and they had to go through all these trials and tribulations to now end up where they are now. And all you're seeing is the achievement. You're seeing the success of it. You're seeing the end result of it, and you didn't see the complete journey. Basically, maybe their journey looked similar to yours before, but you didn't see it. Like maybe a year ago they lived with their parents and they didn't have their freaking dream car and dream life or anything, but now a year has passed and they're at the point where They're moving into their dream apartment, they're living their dream life, they have their dream car and all that. So you never know. You never know unless they actually show you. You never know. Okay, number 2 is make peace with yourself. Make peace with being a work in progress and not having it all figured out, basically. The conclusion I've come to is basically most people do not have life figured out. Most people are going through the same thing you're going through. The people on social media are a very small part of the population, basically. And the people who achieve all these things are even a smaller part of the freaking population. Like, the people in the real world, the people in the real world that you see in your day-to-day life, that you see walking in the park, down the street, whatever, the people that you see at work, those are real world people. And I had to put myself in that perspective, basically. Because I go to work almost every day. I go to work almost every day, and I interact with so many other people, and a lot of these other people do not have life figured out, just like I don't have life figured out. A lot of these people are just figuring things out for themselves, just like I'm just figuring out things for myself. And these are everyday normal people. These are not social media influencers. These are not random people you see on social media living in a completely different state and country than you. These are not people who are in a completely different stage of their life than you. I feel like it's good to bring yourself down to earth and look around and pay attention to the everyday people in your life. Like, we get caught up in social media, we get caught up with people who are on social media we get caught up in the people who are always showing the happy parts of their lives and the achievements in their life, and we don't take the time to look at the people who are right in front of us, the people in our real life, our freaking cousins, our family members, our freaking friends and co-workers and all that. Those people are real life people. Those are people who you could relate to more. So many people who I work with, co-workers, whatever, who are around my age, maybe they're a little younger, maybe they're exactly my age, and we're on the same playing field a lot of times. Like, we're all working the same dead end type job. We're all trying to figure out how we're going to get enough money to get our own apartments and get this car that we really wanted, all that. We're all figuring it out. Look at the people around you. Be okay with being a work in progress. Number 3 is focusing on your own individual growth is important. It's so freaking important to focus on what you have going on internally. And being an introvert, if you're an introvert like me, a lot of times we grow inwardly. Like, our growth starts in the mental, our growth starts in the inside, in the mental, and then it blooms outward later on. Especially if you're a late bloomer. Like, that's just how we are. That's how we are. And I don't like to get into like the whole labels thing, like, oh, introvert, extrovert, blah, 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 blah. But there's a lot of truth to it. Like, growing mentally and just growing inwardly in general helps with my outward growth later on in life. So yeah, focusing on your internal growth as an introvert, as a late bloomer, focusing on the small things in life, the small achievements, the small bits of growth, and just focusing on becoming a better person, like, inwardly. Next piece of advice I have is, I think we all could benefit from redefining what success looks like to us individually. Like, for me, as I said, I always walked to the beat of my own drum. I've always done my own little thing, and I feel like before comparison stole the joy out of me, I feel like I was always, in my head, I always thought that success was feeling content with my life. No matter how much money I had, what my status looked like, what my relationships looked like, whatever, as long as I had peace within myself, peace with myself, that felt like success to me. Like, it felt perfect to me. Like, that was the dream life to me, to always just be in peace with myself, be in peace with my life, be in peace with where my life is going, whatever. And sitting down and just thinking about what your perspective on success is. Like, your real perspective, not the world's perspective, not social media's perspective, not your mom or dad's perspective, your own perspective. Like, sit down and really think, what is success to me? Like, what do I feel like success is? Like, is it money? Is it freaking what type of house I'm living in, or if I'm still living with my parents right now, or is it the peace I have within myself, basically? I feel like the most peace I feel is when I'm out just living life, like trying different restaurants and exploring different places in the city I live. My definition of success has nothing to do with having the freaking latest car and all the money in the world and a freaking luxury apartment and all that. Like the times where I feel the most successful, the most content with myself and all that, is when I'm out doing the things that I like to do. I feel like this is something that I used to do a lot, and that I just lost the art form of recently because of my comparisons and all that and my insecurities. Celebrating the small wins in life, basically. So whether it's you applying for a freaking new job, a job that you've been wanting to apply since forever, or just like a regular job just to get money, whatever, celebrate that win. Especially if you're a late bloomer. I feel like the little things always feel bigger to us, basically. So yeah, I got my first job when I was 20 years old, and that's later than most people. Like most people usually get their jobs like around 14, 15, 16 even. Like I remember being in high school and some of my classmates had jobs like at McDonald's and stuff like that, fast food jobs and all that, and I never felt like a way about it. Like I'm like, that's just what they had to do. I understood that we all had different paths. Even then I understood like these people have a way different path than me. Like maybe they have to work this job, or maybe they just really want to. Like it's something they always want to do. They couldn't wait till they reached the age where they could work a job, whatever. So yeah, completely different path, and I understood that then. But now I'm coming back into my adulthood. Now I'm in my adulthood and I have to just rewire my brain to think how I used to think. Maybe you don't have your dream car as of yet, but you braved it and you got your license. Like that's a win. Or a win to you could be that you finally started going out on solo dates like you always wanted to. A win could also be like you setting boundaries for the first time ever. Like just focusing on those small wins. Your life doesn't look like that Instagram influencer who just went on a trip to Bali and she stayed in a luxury hotel and she went on all these adventures and all that. Like yeah, it doesn't look like that, but are you happy in your definition, in your head, with all the small little wins that happen in your life? Are you happy with that? If you are, then like what does it matter? What does it matter if your life doesn't look like this person or so and so or that? Like who set the rules that every achievement in life had to be super big and grand and life-changing for it to feel like it matters? So yeah, celebrate those small wins, girl. Celebrate those freaking small wins. Like when you're focused on always thinking ahead, you're always thinking about the next step, the next achievement, the next this and that. I feel like it's hard to obtain like those meaningful memories, and especially with comparing ourselves to other people, because we're so gun-ho and thinking about what's the next thing, what's the next chapter in our lives and all that, and always comparing ourselves basically, we don't sit and think about what do you actually want in your life. Like a new Bentley and a high-rise apartment will be nice. Like it will be nice, especially socially, especially in other people's eyes, but you have to think about your own life and your own preferences. Like do you want that? Do you actually want that for yourself, or do you only want that because someone else has it and you feel like you should want that? Or do you only want that because someone else has it and you see the praise that this other person is getting and you want that praise, so you want what the other person has basically? Thinking deeper and more meaningful with our life direction. Be mindful of the road we are taking over the speed we are going down a certain road. Be mindful of the road and less mindful of the speed. So I talked about this next piece of advice in a previous video, but I feel like I didn't go completely in depth as I should. Surround yourself with people who don't make you feel like a terrible person because you aren't where society says you're supposed to be in life at that moment. I feel like a lot of times we don't align ourselves or surround ourselves enough with people who honor the pace of life over the performance, basically, over the speed, over the achievement, over the milestone, basically. That's cute. You have mentors or people who you look up to who are in similar situations as you. I remember being younger on my early YouTube days, basically, and I forget her YouTube handle or whatever, but because it was so long ago. This is around the time where I finally like had a label basically to put to the type of person that I was, like the type of person who walked her own path. And so I found this lady on YouTube. She was a late bloomer just like me, and she was basically talking about her journey of being a late bloomer. Basically, she talked about her journey of doing everything at her own pace, her journey of feeling behind and all that. And I remember watching her being a young teenager, watching her validated how I felt about my own life, basically. Because I already had these feelings of not wanting to do things just because society tells me to, or not rushing to do things because I want to actually sit back and think. So watching someone who has similar thoughts to me and then watching them on their own journey and on a later journey on a different chapter to me, basically, like on a further chapter to me, because this lady, at the time I was a teenager and she was like in her mid-30s, I think. The woman I was watching, she was like in her mid-30s. So yeah, she was on a completely different chapter than me, but I just liked watching her content because I related so much. I remember at the time, this woman, she basically was talking about switching careers. I think that was the last video I watched of hers. She was switching careers and she was in her mid-30s switching careers and having to move back in with her parents in her mid-30s. And that basically gave me a perspective on the different journeys people could be on, the different lives people could have. Like being a teenager and watching this woman go from having this career or whatever and decided to pivot her entire life, change her entire career, and then start all over, move back in her parents, showed me that everyone has a different journey, everyone has a different path. And it basically showed me that comparison is such a fraud. Like, it's such a fraud thing to have, because this woman was in her mid-30s and she was doing all this. In society, they make it, in society, especially today's age, they make it seem like if you don't have it all figured out by 20, then it's done, your life is over, like you might as well give up. Then this woman whose content I followed for so long, she comes on, she's like, I'm gonna pivot and turn my whole freaking life around in my mid-30s because I can, because we all have free will. Free will exists, and I feel like we forget that a lot of times. I feel like we all turn into zombies or something, like to where we feel like we have to follow these steps and these rules like to a T, when it's like we have free will. And life is not linear. Life is not a straight line. Your timeline is not a mistake. Your journey is not a mistake. Your journey or your path is not doomed. It's not the end all be all. It's not the end of the world. You have the time. You have time to pivot. You have time to change. You have time to reflect. You have time to process your journey. And you have time to just take your time in general. You have time to walk your own path. You have time to turn around and do things differently. Do things over. Like, life is not linear. Life is not a one-way street. I would really love if you guys like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also I want you to comment down below one thing that you're proud of, even if it feels super small. Comment one thing that you feel proud of in your life, and let's have a discussion down below. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.